Stars Are Right is the debut full-length album from French death metal band Catacomb. And this one has been a long time coming. This band formed back in 1990, and they're best known for being one of the earlier, more practically death metal style bands in France, beyond the death thrash phase they started with over there. And this was a group that was always very clearly influenced by a lot of different things, and we couldn't have said they were just a Florida style death metal band back then. They did have some of the melodic influences from early Finnish death metal, such as more so the Karelian Isthmus you could hear on their third demo tape, and later on you got to see more keyboards in their sound, and then they split up, and they split up for a long time. They came back in 2001 with an EP that was kind of oddly similar to what Nocturnus were doing with the Ethereal Tomb. And now they've come back, I think beyond 2019 or so, re-released, they re-recorded In the Maze of Kadath with a new sound as part of their, I think, sessions for this record. And we got a glimpse of what this record would sound like. So without further ado, we'll just cut to one of the singles and get an idea of what this record sounds like. So really, my thoughts can't help but center around the cathedral that is Nocturnus and how mishandled all of those adventures were in various ways. So in a lot of ways, Catacombs record comes back decades later and gives us a little bit of a more proper follow-up to Thresholds in some ways. It takes a lot of notes from The Key, takes a bit of influence from Covenant era Morbid Angel, and kind of outdoes a little bit of the spirit of what Nocturnus AD and Tiwanaku did so many years later. And I mean, this is just an addition to that thought. It is, the keyboards help us get there. The kind of polyphrasal dual guitar work helps quite a bit too. And there's some unusual rhythms on this album that are something to dig into and to sort of pull out of the sort of maximal feeling of the experience. This is a very organic death metal record in some ways, and it's a very mechanical death metal record in other ways. And I think the split there is that the guitars, bass, and vocals work together as a unit in creating a wall of like distorted faces, and the drums sort of slap it all into place and create a very linear drive through the whole thing. And the drums definitely feel more mechanical, and they come from the current drummer from Necrowretch. So that makes sense in terms of the sound. It is a little bit thin, but it is of a classic sort of register, which lines up with their influences and their intent. So I don't know if they were intending to just be a Nocturnus-like band from the beginning, and this just happened to be a great record when it finally materialized. But it is a great record. It was actually, there's a lot of pretty involved songs on here, and there's a couple of more laid-back moments. So it's a pretty evenly paced experience, and it's not so challenging once you get over to side B. There's a terrible cover of Chapel of Ghouls on here if you want to bother with that, but otherwise it's a pretty solid record that I've ended up giving a high recommendation. You know, the album art is up to your taste. I think it's pretty good. It's a bit busy for me, and initially I really just didn't enjoy the production values and the listening part of it. So once I sort of got to that point and, understood the music a little bit better, I came around on it, and I did enjoy the construction of it. So overall, a great record, one of the best of March, and check out more details in the review for a little bit of history on the band, and you can see where I'm coming from, and check it out.